Madam President, I have 9 unanimous consent requests for committees to meet during today's session of the Senate. They have the approval of the majority and minority leaders, and I ask unanimous consent that these requests be agreed to and the requests be printed in the record.
Without objection.
And Madam President, I ask unanimous consent to speak as if in morning business.
Without objection.
Thank you. Today I rise with a heavy heart because our nation has lost one of its outstanding citizens, and many of us have lost a dear friend. Charlie Morgan, Chief Warrant Officer of the New Hampshire National Guard, passed away early Sunday morning with her wife Karen and their daughter Casey by her side. Chief Charlie Morgan was just 48 years old. For those of us who have had the pleasure of knowing Charlie, it's been a difficult week. However, as I rise today, I take comfort in the opportunity I had to share part of Charlie's life and work. Many know Charlie for the national attention she received over the last several years, advocating on behalf of her fellow gay service members and their families. However, first and foremost, Charlie was a soldier. She enlisted in the United States Army in 1982. After a brief period away, Charlie returned to service as a member of the Kentucky National Guard in 1992, 1 year before the now repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy became law. Following the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, Charlie returned for a third time, joining the 197th Fires Brigade of the New Hampshire National Guard, a tour that included a year-long deployment in Kuwait. In addition to the mental and emotional challenges of military service, Chief Warrant Officer Morgan shouldered the constant burden of keeping her life secret from her fellow soldiers. Married to her partner Karen in 2000, Charlie was unable to live openly under the military's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. Immediately following the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, Charlie made national news as one of the first service members to publicly confirm her homosexuality and shed light on many of the remaining inequalities faced by same-sex military families. I first met Charlie in 2011. She contacted my office during her deployment in Kuwait when she learned that despite the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, her partner Karen of over 10 years would not be allowed to attend mandatory National Guard Yellow Ribbon reintegration programs upon her return. I was pleased to work with Secretary Panetta and the New Hampshire National Guard, who has been very supportive of Charlie, to ensure that she and her wife Karen would be able to participate in the program together. However, as those of us who appreciated her determination understood, Charlie was not satisfied. She continued to vigorously pursue equal benefits for same-sex spouses, particularly survivors' benefits and compensation still denied under the Defense of Marriage Act. And this was not an abstract issue for Charlie. In 2011, she was diagnosed for a second time with breast cancer. Concerned for the future well-being of her family, Charlie took aim at DOMA by challenging its constitutionality in federal court, and her case is set to be heard by the Supreme Court later this year. Several days ago, my office sent out an online condolence card to the Morgan family, and the response from that card has just been overwhelming. In less than a week, we received over 2,000 messages of support from citizens all across our country, and I'd like to read just a couple of those this morning. From Hopkinton, New Hampshire, we heard, "Charlie is a hero to many of us. Thank you for making your lives public so others can live their lives privately in love." From Oregon, we heard, "Thinking of you in this time of loss. It's also a loss for our country, but she leaves a legacy that will carry on." From Fulton, Illinois, we heard, "Thank you so much, Charlie, for all you've done. You will not be forgotten, and your service, work, and legacy will live on. Those of us left behind will honor you by continuing on in this all-important fight for equality." I hope that Charlie Morgan knew how many lives she touched and how greatly we admired her efforts. I know that she will be sorely missed and that her example will continue to guide us well into the future. Madam President, with Charlie's memory in mind, I will soon be introducing the Charlie Morgan Act. This bill will end a number of restrictions on benefits for legal spouses of all military service members and veterans, regardless of their sexual orientation. Every individual that provides for our defense deserves the peace of mind that comes with knowing one's family will be taken care of should the worst happen. No one should ever again go through what Charlie and her family had to go through. I hope all of us in the Senate will take up this legislation and act quickly to address this issue. It is long overdue. And Madam President, I have a longer statement that I'd like to introduce for the record.
Without objection.
Thank you. I yield the floor.